The emperor's come to town.
Finally, it's been far too long. I've never felt like he's truly given a shit about us.
Yeah, so the Japanese emperor's come to town. Have you seen
He's
this?
here. No.
Yeah. So they've hung Japanese flags on the Royal Mall.
Have they?
Yeah.
It's not
but
like
I didn't
was
really
just
know
there.
that the emperor was still kicking about.
Neither did I.
And so I don't really know.
What is an emperor?
Well, I guess because for them,
similar
he's like,
to a king?
Well, the Japanese people, certainly during World War II, had a very special relationship with their emperor. They viewed him as a god, right? And the big thing on the negotiating table when they were surrendering is that you can sort of take whatever you want, just make sure we have an emperor. That was their only thing they wanted.
We want to keep having an emperor.
So they still got him, but I haven't heard any. He hasn't done anything. I bet never heard about him.
He hasn't made any significant moves in a while.
No, exactly.
What does he look like?
Japanese.
Well, great.
I'm sorry to say, he looks how you think he looks.
That doesn't sound great. What's he wearing?
A suit.
Is he?
Yeah.
Then fuck him, sack him off. Fuck him and sack him off.
No, because you want him to. What you want him to be wearing?
Want him in
like a silk.
Vajazzled jewels.
I don't know if I want him vajazzled.
Vajazzle him. No, I want him in like I want him in a kimono. Is this racist? We'll find out. I want him in a kimono and like a big hat.
It's not racist.
Not like
to
a rice paddy hat, like a
it's not
gold.
racist to want the Japanese emperor to look.
If he's going to be an emperor, be an emperor. Same for the king.
Yeah,
if he's out,
if you're in Japan and the king comes to town,
but the king's got that ting. The king's got the ting of his that blanket.
You want a king wearing a crown.
You want him wearing the crown. You want the staff. You want that blanket robe thing he wears because he's a king. Because if we're going to have a king, let's at least have a king. Let's not have another bloody suit. We got enough bloody suits in Parliament.
I think that's a good point actually about the monarchy because you look at the sort of Scandinavian monarchies and they're just like blokes in suits. What's the fucking point?
Most of the time the English guys are blokes in suits and
they kind of live quite normal lives.
They're
like going down to Waitrose and stuff, but Swedish Waitrose, whatever that is.
Again, I'd love a fact checker just there. Just it will make my life a lot easier.
But I hear that they're out and about.
You hear that they're out and about, popping down to Waitrose. Yeah, okay.
Working part-time at the post office, they're delivering people's packages.
Yeah.
I left it in the safe. The safe.
You're the bin.
You're the fucking
You're the king. You can't leave it. Can't leave it in the bin. It's a package.
But they had a clear point. They wanted to make sure the royals were like taken off their ledge. Well, get rid of them then. But they're just a...
Well, I wonder how significant they still are in Japanese culture.
Sorry, I was talking about sweet Scandinavian.
Oh.
That whole time with doing the shopping and stuff.
Yeah, I know the shopping stuff. Fine. No, but you want...
I think the emperor they still have. He doesn't do his own
The English monarchy doesn't... They only get in their garm for events.
Well, Prince William was at Taylor Swift.
Exactly.
And he was wearing a suit there.
I think that's unbecoming of a king.
If you're going to go to an event like that, you probably should go out in with white gloves and...
Yeah.
And everyone goes,
the king is here. The king.
The king to be.
The king to be. He shall be king. He shall ascend the throne. And that's the Taylor Swift fans.
And then they turn.
So imagine the England football fans. Shake it off. Right, subjects. Yeah, well, to be honest, we're on the other side of this argument because I think most people are like the royal family needs to modernise. It needs to come into the 21st century, be one with the people, which is e.g. going to Taylor Swift concerts. I'm saying
Waitrose.
No. I want them at the opera.
Head off, or they're wearing a big hat.
Exactly. Heavy wears the crown,
or so
there's
heavy
something
that
in
the
there.
head falls off.
No, because it's kind of the lighter that something's got to be on their head.
It has to be on their head.
It has to be on their head. No, I was trying. There's nothing there.
Yeah,
it doesn't work as a metaphor.
A crown of thorns.
Yeah,
like Jesus.
Go on.
Well, that's how I view our king. He's
okay, but instead of thorns, it's a massive hat.
Yeah.
So that's the monarchy.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Otherwise, do you know what I mean? What's the fucking point? If you're just wearing like, I want to be able to distinguish that. That's the key. You need to be able to distinguish them from like the prime minister.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we've got one who wears jewels and one who's like meant to be part of the people.
Well, how would you want your king dressed then?
I want him with that, like how he dresses, how he was coronated
all the time.
Coronated?
Yeah. What you want is how King Henry VIII would have dressed. Basically, that's what you want.
A bountiful belly. They're all far too in shape.
Yeah. Also, I didn't like the coronation crown because it didn't. It felt like it was so ceremonial. It was like, well, I don't. Does it not annoy you a little bit how impractical the crown was? Like, I do think crowns should have a little bit more.
There's more than one crown, isn't there?
Well, the coronation
the
crown.
big crown, the main event, the main
when
course.
It's like really heavy, and it kind of sits on your head and it can barely balance.
Yeah.
It kind of annoys me because it's like, can we at least pretend that you could wear that?
But that's kind of going the opposite of what I'm saying. The more impractical, the better. The just for the purpose of grandeur, that's what I'm into.
So you want him balancing a crown all day?
It needs to be uncomfortable, but
I see the king having. If you are king, you have to wear a crown all the time, and so that crown can be a bit more practical. But it's more like a crown that can sit on your head.
In this world,
like a
in
Christmas
this world,
cracker crown.
Yeah, that's kind of like a tiara, isn't it? In this world, I think there's room for two crowns. You've got your proper crown, your too heavy on your head crown, your big turkey crown. That's when he's
casual.
That's when he's
casual crown.
Yeah, when he's dining into a hog roast, a banquet. In front of his subjects, he wears the heavy crown.
Yeah.
When he's going out and...
When he's eating hog roast.
A banquet.
The crown's going all over the place.
It doesn't matter. It's a formal event. Yeah. It's a banquet. Yeah. But when he leaves the palace to go to the opera, he can wear the day crown. There's the day crown and the night crown.
It's like day cream and night cream.
Precisely. But he has to sleep in the night crown. Night. It is like day and night. Isn't that weird? Heavy wears the crown, and as it should be.
Yeah.
Heavy the head that wears it, whatever.
I don't know what this is. Maybe it's not real. I'm pretty sure it's real. I don't know if it had been reposted, but on TikTok I saw this insane ad for a Reform politician. I'll just play it.
For those of you who don't know, aren't from the UK, Reform is like the new racist.
Yeah.
The racist guys, but maybe they're not according to this ad.
Apparently, we're all racists. Apparently, we're all bigots.
You need to say what's coming up on the screen.
Apparently, we're all xenophobes.
Is that the same guy?
Apparently, we're all far right.
So, the video is he's walking around England's sweet Greenland. He's going through farm fields, saying apparently we're all racist.
Yeah.
And then an incredibly loud bang happens, and they show black and brown members of Reform Party.
Yeah.
Which I do feel there's an element of missing
the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel to say like we're not racist and then find the blackest person you can on your party.
Well,
at one point he even says people say that we hate foreigners and illegal immigrants.
Bam.
Just someone who's vaguely Muslim.
Something about that is all of those, when they put the pictures up, all of them look like wanted pictures.
Yeah.
Which is not helpful. So
what does that say?
It says the opposite of what they're saying in a way. Didn't they got Monty Panesar in? Did you see this?
Was he Reform?
Or was
he a Tory?
No, Monty Panesar was briefly accepted into the Reform Party and did like one interview. He just had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that Farage has hit TikTok, and to be honest,
or maybe George Galloway's party. Yeah, he had 9 days in George Galloway's party, and then was like, what am I doing here?
I'm an off spinner.
Yeah, wrong party though. Go on.
So I guess the big problem with Reform, I'm pretty scared about Reform because they're going to do well, and it's like Farage is kind of the most talented politician of the lot at the moment at like communicating. And he's still like, even on TikTok, you have to admit,
a good orator.
He is funny.
And
he could do it a lot better than the other politicians. But you kind of look at him and as that face, there's a charisma. But then you go one rung down in that party, and it is absolute chaos.
It's people that look like Fred Flintstone yelling at people to get off the boats.
Yeah, it's like, because at least he could be charming at least.
Yeah, in his racism.
Yeah, but then you go literally one step down and it's all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, it's red-faced.
So it's going to be fucking scary if they do well, because the people who are going to be...
Yeah, but they're just like UKIP in different shoes, aren't they, really?
So do you not think they're going to clear up? No?
They're not going to clear up. You never know. I think... I don't know, they changed the name because the UKIP lied to everyone for Brexit, and I think like it's not. I hope that Brexit has shown that the policy of going, let's fuck off Europe, every immigrant's a kniving bell end, and it's taken from the society, isn't going to work anymore.
I don't like the branding of Reform. I just don't know. I don't think you should be allowed to brand it that generic. So it's a light blue arrow.
Yeah.
Right, and I guess that's sort of political parties, but I feel it should more represent. If we're doing like the Green Party, That's green.
Conservatives.
There's a tree.
Labour.
Yeah.
It all makes sense.
Yeah.
The Liberal
Reform.
Democrat.
Yeah, there's like a...
There's a thing there.
I guess they had to do it quite...
Plaid Cymru.
They had to do it in quite a rushed way.
Yeah, and they couldn't come up with a name.
Well, if you think about it, they're sitting down with the graphic designers and they're announcing a party and they have to turn around quickly. I guess you probably would come up to something with just a blue arrow.
Yeah, I think so. But it is also, I think there's an obligation to make it clearer what your stance is with the name and the logo.
What would you call them? Nasty, stinky, racist party?
Yeah. The smelly boys.
Yeah. White Cliffs of Dover.
Yeah. Pints for pints. Keep ale English. Well, no, yeah, because when they first came out and I didn't know the leader because Nigel only came on later and I was a bit like, I was listening to him and he didn't sound crazy. Yeah. And then he started talking about immigrants. I was like, oh, that's who you are.
Yeah.
But it's false advertising. And that's the thing I can't stand the most in politics.
Well, yeah, I do think politics, it should be more Game of Thrones sort of banner of your house. There should be more of a like...
You say more parades and more banquets.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess more of a team sort of... you have an embroidered sort of banner of your...
Or like, what do you call that? When you fucking,
What, stab someone?
Brand.
Wait, are they getting branded on their...
Yeah, reform. That arrow.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that'd be a bit much.
Yeah.
So, because people like change political parties, I think.
Yeah, but then you have to cut it out your skin.
Yeah, I don't know if that's good for like a flexible dynamic democracy.
Who needs dynamic discourse when you've got branded bitches?
Yeah. Putin. Should we talk about Putin?
Yeah, let's do poop and Putin.
So Putin went to see his best friend Kim Jong-un, and it really made me laugh.
Did you see the video? They did them really dirty. I'm going to try and find it briefly. But they showed a video of those two in the car. And they were only half talking. They weren't like really talking. So it looked like they were listening to what was on the radio.
Yeah.
And they played this song.
Who did?
Wait. Oh no, people have changed it. But like, it was like a... They played like one of these songs just because it wasn't... They've got no audio for it, so you don't know what they're going to do. So it looks like they go around in the car listening to it. And for a minute I was like... But it was on like Sky News or something. And I was like, that can't be happening. And then I saw one of them speak and I was like...
the video I posted on my story of him waving goodbye to Kim Jong-un... Putin waving goodbye to Kim Jong-un on the runway with his big plane. Set to sad music. That was by the Metro UK. And I'm saying this like... News channels have been doing some of the best TikToks recently.
Yeah, it's true.
There's a really nice blend of like...
Because they've got like the kind of most accurate and up-to-date footage. And like the best, because they've got people on the ground. And then all it takes is a kind of sarcastic music over it.
Yeah, it's a great...
And it's hilarious.
A lot of the funniest ones, the most ones I send you have been like ITV,
Yeah. Because they know how to get views now.
Yeah.
There's no shame, is there, whatsoever. They just know how to get views, so immediately... But that's like... Should that be allowed to happen? That immediately frames the narrative. Do you know what I mean? You can't make something into a meme at the point that it becomes news. That's a weird thing to contemplate because you're shaping people's opinions before they have a chance to think about it.
Well, yeah, I don't know what responsibility, because it feels like TikTok, the whole bit of like legacy media or any a football club or anything like that, anything that is an old institution having a TikTok, the whole bit is that we've got a young intern.
Yeah, exactly,
who's underpaid and is trying to get as many views as possible. So they're sort of like, the whole shtick is that they're sort of fucking everything up for the company in like an endearing way.
But that's fine for like Quaker's Oats. Yeah. But like the news, that's a little bit different. Do you know what I mean? About it becomes a meme at the point of entry, which means that it's almost like your opinion is made up before you can even...
That's true. You can't meme something before it's been...
Before it's been... Before it exists. We're finding out about news via memes. So it's like people, meme makers are like, hold on, let us meme this. We need to have our own meme opinion on it.
We're cutting out the middle meme.
And it's a very dangerous time if you're cutting out the middle meme.
Cutting out the middle meme would be an alright talk at like a media conference. Yeah. That would be like a good TED talk.
What would be?
cutting out the middle meme.
And what we just said.
What we just said, yeah.
Yeah.
About the changing landscape of media.
And these guys are getting it for free. Meme dear.
How do you think Russia talk about the little fella in their country?
Right.
Kim Jong-un. Like,
crazy.
Because if you're best mates with Kim Jong-un,
Yeah.
I feel like, aren't you like, this guy's mental? Are they saying that he's sound?
Surely I don't know. I'm not really sure what the opinion. They've always been somewhat quietly allied, haven't they?
Yeah.
There's always been a hush alliance. So he's never been like, overt. He hasn't come out. Putin hasn't overtly condemned North Korea, I don't think, in a long time. So I think the news media around Russia will probably be pretty positive towards North Korea in a general sense.
Yeah.
They won't see the same stuff we see, or he won't be portrayed in the same way.
Yeah.
But he's a funny little man. You'd think a lot of that would kind of break through.
Well, there's a chance that North Korea's not as bad as we've made them out to be. I just wanted to think about that.
Yeah.
Because it feels like there's a lot of it feels like a lot of news. More and more you're seeing how much of the stuff is framed.
Yeah.
And it's so aggressive how bad North Korea is.
Yeah. There's a balance, and I think North Korea's terrible.
Yeah. Right.
I think it's...
But you don't know. You haven't been.
I haven't been. That's true. But when the country...
The rubbish attacks.
The rubbish attacks, they're flying shit balloons over to South Korea. Yeah. That's like, Scotland flying shit bags over to us.
And so they're really strict with what can be filmed, so they make sure you can only film good parts.
Which doesn't... I was about to say, it doesn't exactly... The openness of their information doesn't suggest that they're doing anything good, does it?
But on the flip side, I've only seen good parts of North Korea.
You've only seen... Yeah,
I've only ever seen clean streets and quite an up-to-date building.
There's that documentary...
I've never seen any North Korean slums.
There's that documentary about all the famines and stuff.
Yeah, but they don't have any pictures.
I think they did. Someone...
No, one of the North Koreans went on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And said everyone in the West is fat.
That's not what I'm talking about. Which is a great way to come out of North Korea. You're all so fat, man. Well, it
probably would blow your mind if you've been
100%,
famine.
Yeah. And you can't, and you're not allowed to digest any media from outside your country.
Yeah.
I would be very shocked.
Yeah.
No, I swear I watched a documentary. There's loads of documentaries in North Korea, but there was one where there was some footage of the shops and stuff when they were fucked, or the place they got vegetables.
Send that my way.
I will.
Because there's
Are you becoming a North Korea truther? Because that is not a road to go down.
Do you know? I don't know.
Join me on some of the more light-hearted conspiracy theories.
I don't really know. It's a bit of a quiet news day for me in my head, so I'm thinking I'm going to go for North Korea truther.
Yeah,
it's kind of the shtick I'm going to.
Is that how the world works?
Yeah, I might try being a North Korea truther for a little bit.
Yeah, try the trousers on, see if they fit.
Yeah, there's a white guy in North Korea who is traveling around North Korea saying how it's much better than everyone says it is.
Yeah.
Now there's obviously a deal with North Korea probably going on, but he's at North Korean water parks saying the West don't want you to see this. It's just people enjoying themselves.
But the problem is North Korea aren't letting us see anything.
Yeah.
So how can that be a good argument? It's we're saying, can we see what's going on? They're saying, no.
Well, maybe
but this one guy's loving it. He's at a water park. That doesn't...
Well, maybe he's Western decadent, isn't it?
So what would be the argument for them being so...
Well, it's more like
sharing information.
In the West, it's look what I've got. It's showing off. It's the big gold watch. It's the fur mink coat.
Like water parks.
Yeah, but there's a humbleness to being like... No.
So why does that mean that they should shut off?
Well, they're just not a very braggadocious country, I don't think.
There's a difference between bragging and imprisoning people for carrying a camera.
Well, they're imprisoning people for bragging,
Right, they're so
they're so humble.
They're so upset about the idea that you might take a picture because they're like, no.
Yeah.
If it's just like a paradise.
Yeah. That would be mad.
Yeah, it could be a bit like The Beach, that film. Have you seen The Beach? I
haven't, but I kind of know the story. It's got Leo DiCaprio in it. So.
Yeah.
And what's the story? It's like Lord of the Flies, right?
Kind of. More paradise than hell, but descends into some hell, obviously.
So what?
But there's a big... There's a beach,
nice sandy beach,
hard to get to. A very small community is started in, but no one. The big thing is you're not picturesque. Not allowed. They're not allowed to. The whole thing is you got to keep it quiet. You can't tell anyone because if too many people come over, paradise is ruined. So are you suggesting that North Korea is like the Leonardo DiCaprio film, The Beach?
Yeah. You actually put it in a much more succinct manner. That's exactly what I think. Well, I think there's a chance that is what's the case.
I think they've got so many international sanctions against them.
And they're like, bring them on.
Bring them on. They could be just that so much money, the best life ever, that sanctions are irrelevant. They've got like trillions and trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
And great water parks.
And apparently very good animation studios, which seems random.
Now what? Why? Because how did you see it from the propaganda or something? Because they're not like working on Disney films.
Well, apparently they've got quite wildly... No, they're not allowed to.
But how do we know they've got good animation?
Well, they've just got technically good ones.
So how would we know?
I imagine they're
Propaganda.
content writing.
Yeah.
No, because even people who are trying to do besmirch North Korea in documentaries are saying, to be fair, awesome animators.
But that could still be from their propaganda. You could see the videos and be like, wow, that's incredible animation.
But then what they've got in the back of the shop store is really bad animation. So you're saying that they basically... They've shown people they're really the best animation they've got and said, it's all like this. But you scratch onto the surface and it's like stick figures.
Right,
it's really bad. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying they could. I'm saying it's possible that they have amazing animation technology. I'm just asking, how do we know that? And I'm saying it's probably from some of the videos that we see, i.e. propaganda videos. They could be just the most beautifully animated propaganda videos.
Yeah, I think the technical animations will probably be good, but I imagine the free-flowing well of ideas that you probably need to create good stories, i.e. Rick and Morty.
So is it in the... Yeah, there it is. Perfect, yeah. Was this in the North Korean film scene? Because I wonder what that's...
I think I was watching some fucking... I was having a North Korea phase. I was maybe watching like a Vice documentary where they're just talking about, isn't it mad here? And one of the things they brought up was that they're really good at animating, which is kind of interesting.
That's one of your lowest points of journalistic integrity you've ever had. I might have heard it at one point, potentially watching a Vice documentary where one bloke might have said it. It's unbelievable.
But I bet it's true. I would... Gun to my head.
You always do, don't you?
Gun to my head, I say North Korea have good animators.
Yeah.
Globally.
It sounds like
I'd say they're globally leading animators.
Yeah, it's just the way you say it. Like, did you know?
Gun to my head. If I'm wrong, I die. I'm saying that they're global.
Really?
Leading. Yeah.
They're global leaders.
Top 8.
Top 8 has become less interesting. It's almost worth not bringing up.
That's a leader, right? Top 10 animators in the world. It's a small country.
It's a leader. Yeah, and it would be a moderately interesting stat. I'm not sure quite enough to bring up in the manner you did if they're number 8. And that still begs a lot of questions. What animation are they making?
Well, also, why am I going to get killed if I get this wrong? Why are we not?
Who's that? Who's the man with the gun? To be honest, at this point, it's fucking me. Yeah, that's true.
I would like to see one though. I want to see what
see what
stories they tell.
Yeah. Is there a film industry in North Korea?
I don't think so, but there's an animation industry. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is probably
North Korean films in North Korea.
Yeah.
Animated films.
North Korean film.
Seoul Station. No, that's not. North Korean animation. Boy General.
Did it come up with North Korea is surprisingly good at animation? Because if
it hasn't yet.
So if it
wait.
North.
In 2003, there's 1,500 artists working at SEK, which is the big North Korean one, becoming one of the largest animation studios in the world. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's big. They might all be terrible.
Yeah. To be
fair, I haven't seen any North Korean animation.
That's what I was interested in.
Yeah.
The SEK studio has been providing animation services for foreign clients, including Italy, Spain, France, China, Russia, Japan, and indirectly for the United States. So they are doing shit.
They're that good that it's crossing their own curtain.
Yeah. It's interesting that, Italy, Spain, and France are just like cool with that.
Empress Chong.
Yeah, well, I think maybe the best animation might be when it's exported out from the North Korean storytelling, which famously isn't fantastic. Most of it revolves around how good their leader is. And no, there are enough potatoes, which isn't the best jumping off point for the script.
It's two-dimensional, I'll give you that.
The leader's great and you've got enough food. One more.
Fine, your animations look 3D, but the story is two-dimensional. It's one note.
Yeah. Well, you learn something even if you don't know it's true every day.
And I was right on that, so I think that's...
Yeah.
Do I get...
Well, I was just asking for some more information.
Okay. I'm just saying you seem to be counting aspersions on some of my facts. And I think if
healthy skepticism...
I wouldn't mind maybe starting a tally of how many times I'm right and wrong.
I would love to do that.
I think the numbers will be interesting. I think it'll be... Do you know what? I think it'll be close.
You think close?
I think it's like 50-50. I think it's.
We'll let
I think it's 1 and 2.
The long-term listeners are spitting out their milk right now.
Yeah, because they can't live independently.
In agreement. In agreement with you. So true. Holly Willoughby has finally been taken to justice.
Not Holly Willoughby.
Holly Willoughby.
Oh, she has.
No, it was okay. I was kind of being on Kettle's side. Is it Kettle?
No, that's my football player on the mobile game I've been playing.
Oh yeah,
Superstar Soccer or whatever it's called.
How horrible.
Gavin Kettle.
No, so we covered this story.
It's Gavin Plum. Is his name.
We've carried. We covered this story a while ago when it broke.
Yeah.
That a man called, what was his name?
Gavin Plum.
Gavin Plum.
Who's an unfortunate looking fella.
Let's just get up to
Well,
date.
he looks... Okay, I guess why this story, even though it is dark, and I did say that he, to me, is like a archetypical boy gone wild. And then you said...
To be honest...
You said that feels like that's bad, seeing as he was trying to rape and kill Holly Willoughby.
That's just a bit of our pre-show chat, by the way. That's a bit of an insight behind the scenes.
I guess when you hear someone's called Gavin Plum and then he looks like that, which is satisfying.
Yeah.
Because if I was drawing Gavin Plum, I'd draw him like that probably. Right.
No, without a doubt, like the name goes, but like what I said, it might be wise for ourselves not to align Boys Gone Wild with people who attempt to,
it's true.
abduct and rape.
I guess what makes me laugh about... Okay, fine. If you're someone who has a proclivity to abduct and rape or want to abduct and rape women, there is something funny about the laziness of it being a This Morning presenter. Do you know what I mean?
He's turned on the TV.
That's what makes
and gone, shielding.
That's what makes me laugh.
That's
why that story really... There's like, can you be any lazier as a...
And I am. It is a funny story. I'm not saying it's not a funny story. I'm saying maybe don't make him an archetypical boy gone wild. We're not going to like crown Gavin Plum. It's funny because
Plum would be in the when we're ranking Boys Gone Wild. Plum gets
but he's not
a lot. We'll let the public decide. I think Plum would do better than you might think.
I'm not saying he'll do badly.
No.
I'm saying let's not make him the bastion of Boys Gone Wild. Let's not. When you think Gavin Plum, you don't want to think Horatio Gordon Ashgun. The reason why it's funny, one, is because it's unsuccessful.
Yeah.
And I quite like...
Well, the laziness of all of it. He's getting someone else to do it. Yeah. I don't think he's left his soul for the whole period.
I quite like the what do you call it? The ball, not the balls on the guy. What's the word? He's shooting for the moon. He's
ambition.
Not like most.
He's a dreamer.
He's trying to abduct Holly Willoughby.
Yeah.
That's not. There's plenty of easier women to abduct than Holly Willoughby.
I guess so. Yeah. Well, I guess also the image that's painted is because of his weight, because it's This Morning.
Yeah.
It implies that he's done all of this and hasn't moved.
Yeah, because he's fat as well.
Well, because he called a hitman and was doing
Let's read this quickly because then we'll know the exact.
Yeah,
So
okay.
just a quick thing.
Yeah.
A man accused of plotting to rape and murder Holly Willoughby had searched online for how to meet people who plan to kidnap celebrities.
That'd be amazing.
That's the Google search of the year. That was a quote, by the way. So he didn't just type in he didn't think how do I access the dark web? Might be my first thought.
Yeah.
He's gone into Google.
Celebstalker.com.
He's watched This Morning. Eating a pack of Whatsits.
Probably.
And then he's got cheesy fingers. And he's typed in onto his laptop, opens Google, how to meet people who plan to kidnap celebrities. That is an astonishing Google search. How to meet people who plan... So it's not how to meet people who kidnap celebrities. It's how to meet people who plan to kidnap celebrities. Well, he's just trying to find a community.
Yeah.
He's trying to find a community of like-minded freaks.
Well, I do think it's harder to build community these days.
It is. And Gavin Plum is a victim of that.
Well, I think, we've killed God in society.
Yeah.
And what have we everyone's replaced God with something else.
Gavin Plum.
We haven't replaced it, Gavin Plum's replaced God.
With Holly Willoughby.
With the stalking and stealing celebrities.
Yeah.
Today is Holly Willoughby. Tomorrow,
who knows what it'll be? Justice for Plum?
Yeah.
A trial at Chelmsford Crown Court heard he had an online accomplice known only as Mark, that he wanted to attack the former This Morning presenter for 3 years. I would love to ask why. Because it's incelly, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
an attractive lady on the screen. It's clearly he just watches This Morning. Yeah.
It's a psychosexual thing. It's not her. He hates her presenting. He hates how she handled the story.
Yeah, he doesn't think she has enough chemistry with Phil. Security guard Mr. Plum. Security guard from Harlow, Essex, denies soliciting murder. Oh, is he pleading guilty, it seems? Prosecutor previously told the trial that Plum had carefully planned what he would do regarding his alleged plot targeting Miss Willoughby.
For some reason, I think it's careful.
It's not the look of a careful man.
I just don't think careful is fair.
He was attempting to live out his ultimate fantasy born out of an obsession with Miss Willoughby. This is just the words of the prosecution. The court heard he said he would track the broadcaster's movements for a simple place to strike, but a home invasion is a better idea. This is why he needed an accomplice. That man can't invade a home.
Yeah. I thought you'd get a hitman.
He can only invade a chip shop.
I thought he'd get a hitman.
So, this might be where Mark comes in. Detective told the police that they seized and recovered millions of images.
Millions?
In quotes. Millions.
Why are they getting that?
Miss Morgan said there were vast number, who is the detective, I think.
There's not that many images of Holly. There's not enough Holly Willoughby, unless it's stills, I guess.
Yeah.
Screenshots of This Morning, I guess.
Ooh.
I guess you could get a million screenshots.
Well, I'm sure he's repeated a few in there. He doesn't seem like the most diligent man.
Well, you need to get that thing that stops like double. Have you got that? There's like an app that clears up.
Yeah, or maybe not try and rape and adopt Holly Willoughby.
Yeah, small baby steps.
Like, Plum, come on. Plum. That's what you would say.
I mean, like, this is a nightmare.
If you met Plum online,
let's organise this, fold it. Let's do
there's this
screenshots of This Morning. Let's do red carpet.
And there's an app that's going to remove the duplicates. Plum, if you're going to be obsessed, Plum, know how to be obsessed.
You're not using your head, Plum.
Come on, Plum, think. Miss Morgan said that there were vast numbers of images, so millions, of Miss Willoughby, included deep, fake pornographic pictures and other celebrities on the device. I wonder who the other celebrities were. Name them. That's another one. Name the other celebrities on Plum's phone. In messages later found on the phone, this is actually kind of fascinating. The messages later found on the phone, Mr. Plum is also alleged to have discussed the deceased presenter Jill Dando, who was shot on her doorstep in 1999.
Maybe potentially by, maybe it's a copycat sort of thing.
Yeah, he could be, right, yeah.
It's like how Columbine, you know.
Yeah, copycat, copy Plum. Plumcat. A series of WhatsApp messages allegedly sent between Mr. Plum and only a man known only as Mark, who said that to be from Ireland, and Mr. Plum in December were read to the jury. Having exchanged graphic details about the alleged plan, the court heard Mr. Plum said, "Getting her out of London will be the best bet." How the fuck are these two fuckheads? Plum's the man on the ground.
Now,
and then there's Mark in Ireland.
Why is there a subtle charm to this story?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's almost like a quaint English film. You know,
there's
like
there's a Chuckle Brothers.
Yeah, but it's like instead it's what it could be is two young boys, like 12-ish, who just want to who want to meet Holly Willoughby, who want to like get her autograph.
Yeah.
That's how it would be a cute kind of film.
Yeah.
They've got like a cute boyhood obsession with her. They think she's beautiful. It's very quaint.
The only way we could tell how beautiful she is if she's out of London.
Well, no. Okay. They need to try and like meet her.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Maybe like the premise isn't going to go too far. Later in the alleged conversation, Mark sent a voice note that said, "Even if we do a home invasion, tie the whole family up and take her." I think Plum's
less charming.
Less charming. Yeah, this is getting less and less charming. It's now could even burn the house down or shoot the rest of the family. She may or may not need to know that, but it would make her... let's move from that bit. Any more fun bits?
If you're talking like that...
The jury heard that Mark went on to write, "One thing is guaranteed. Philip Schofield's getting a new co-host."
I mean, it's a line.
Mark.
That's like a Roger Moore line.
That's the tag for the film.
But Philip Schofield, sadly, the truth was, Holly
got a new co-host.
Yeah.
I wonder what Plum's thoughts are on the whole Schofield thing. Last bit. In January of that year, Mr. Plum allegedly wrote, "We'll give her a birthday present she'll never forget."
What, being raped and killed?
Yeah. Again, it's not a lie.
No, yeah.
It's not a lie. Yeah, well...
So Justice...
I was hoping you would say it. I was really hoping you'd say it.
I think in my head, and I guess because he works as a security guard, this is gone, but what I imagine from when I first read about the story is Plum is sat on his sofa, right? He's eating a bag of crisps. He's watching This Morning.
His name's Plum.
He then types in, how do I kill Holly and rape Holly Willoughby?
And then
he
Mark pops up.
Then he calls someone else to do it all for him.
Yeah.
And throughout this whole process, from him watching This Morning, logging all the photos, doing all that, he hasn't moved.
And
he
they've
never
caught
moves.
him.
And they've caught him. And they caught him, and it's been a one play.
You've got to be pretty moronic to get caught. I don't think they... I don't know. It doesn't sound like they got very far.
No.
But maybe
It's
because...
like you could make like a 4 Lions film, I guess.
Yeah. But it sounds like you've got to be fucking thick to try and do that. And then they intercept you at like the text message. They haven't even got off their sofas. One of them's in Ireland. Plum's the man on the ground.
Yeah, there's an element of fantasy. I don't know how much they wanted to follow through.
But then it would have to be enough for them to...
But the late night conversations you have with strangers on the internet.
Yeah. Those ones. What? Go on.
Well, there's that thing about...
This isn't...
No, but
you
I
were
mean,
saying it as if like you know those ones that we have.
I don't know.
Who are you talking about? Who are you obsessed over?
No, I guess not like that. I guess what it's more like is when you get high and want to start a business idea with a friend.
Yeah, it's true.
But the business idea is...
But if that business idea went on for 3 years and millions of photos and texts, you'd think there's a chance that they're going to get it off the ground.
Yeah.
I typed in how far did Plum get, and I've got your location to the Wolseley Plum, which is a 13-minute drive.
Well, that's probably
pretty close.
I don't even got you further. I don't even got that far.
No. What, 13-minute drive from her? No chance.
He's not left the sofa.
No chance.
I've written Julian Assange. Do you care about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
So Assange,
but
from start to finish, Assange, he leaks documents.
Yeah, WikiLeaks.
And then America wanted to extradite him.
Then he fled.
Well, he fled to the Ecuadorian Embassy, right?
Sure.
Because the UK wanted to extradite him as well.
This has been going on for years, but he was in the UK for ages.
But the UK were ready to ship him off to the US.
Right, yeah.
But then he literally claimed sanctuary.
Yeah.
And I guess that what was always fascinating about the story was...
That you can still do that.
That you can go to an embassy and say, I'm it's literally playing homie.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't get me. It does seem mad.
Where did I see
So it was literally 8 policemen.
Yeah.
I'd imagine 8 policemen are chasing after him.
And he just jumps
He's dropped
in.
the shoulder. And then he dives through the door, and they're fucking hell.
Well, it happens. It happened in somewhere else. I can't remember. But no, it's a thing, because it's technically their soil, isn't it? So.
I know, but it just doesn't,
like in the back
doesn't
of the car.
really make sense, does it?
It happens in Veep.
You wouldn't be able to do this in Russia.
No.
You wouldn't be able to do this in North Korea. It's a good thing, but it's funny.
If
it's
someone claims,
it's a level of cutness of a society.
I don't know, but if you managed to get to like the British embassy in Russia, if you were being hunted by the Russians and you got to the embassy and the Russians burst in, that's like a war starter.
I guess so, but Ecuador, if you did it, the Ecuadorian embassy in Russia,
still a war starter because people would be like, you can't do that. And they've got like, that's like the whole point of international rule and law. But
maybe you could do it in Russia.
Yeah,
I feel that they'd find a way.
They'd find a way. They'd be like, oh, he's
But I mean, they wouldn't give a fuck because they're obsessed with poisoning.
Yeah,
like that's their favorite.
Really doesn't matter,
that's their favorite thing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's got poison written all over it.
Yeah,
but it never really made sense to me that he was there for like 8 years.
He was there for donkeys,
nearly a decade.
Yeah.
And
is this in the Ecuadorian Embassy in London?
So he was in this sort of townhouse in London, but he's never allowed to leave, which does seem bad.
Well, he is allowed to leave. It's just like he will be extradited.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And then he got a big beard.
Yeah.
As you would. Yeah.
Got nothing else to do.
The Ecuadorian Embassy got annoyed having him there.
Yeah.
Which you would.
He was eating all the croissants in the morning.
Sort of.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't saying about his feces, but he was like dirty and smelly.
You're not a good house guest.
Yeah, it wasn't a great house guest.
Which
but
is
then once
tough.
again, it's like, I guess you're saving his life, but I don't know. I think it'd be how good a house case would you be if you're in the same townhouse for like 8 years?
I think that'd be excellent because that's all you've got to do, like clean up after yourself. If you're leaving, like
you'd go a bit stir crazy though, right?
Yeah, I'm sure you would. But if you're leaving plates unwashed and you've got nothing else to do, you're a fuckhead. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, mate, can you pick up your socks? You're here for 8 years. What else are you doing right now?
We'll throw you out. I mean,
do your dishes or we'll literally extradite you to the US.
Yeah.
But so they've reached a deal, right? They've reached a plea deal. I don't know what this means, but it seems
There's
that...
one other point in the story, right, which is that the Ecuadorian asylum stopped at some point, and then they sent their bobbies in.
They sent the bobos in.
And then they grabbed him, and he was
dragged
out, saying, "This is ridiculous."
Yeah.
Saying, "This is bloody... You
Yeah,
bloody can't do this."
Yeah. But then they put him somewhere...
They put him in prison, right?
Yeah.
And now I think this is the end of that.
No, he's been somewhere else.
So now he's somewhere else.
It's a
And he
really
also
tough
got
one to... It's a tough one to
accused
follow.
of rape in Sweden.
No, that's
That
not
got
good.
thrown in the mix.
Yeah, well, that's...
But then it's
something
almost
to-
like... What was... I'm not saying that it's annoying, but it's more like... Oh, this is not what this case is about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This really muddies the water.
And then
this
like,
is
then
quite,
maybe
this
you
is quite,
should be... Oh, God.
This is the landmark case. This is about...
The right to information.
If we can't have... This is not a Me Too one. It's a shame.
No. Well, it seems to have been sorted for him, which is good news.
Yeah.
That's good news.
He loves leaking though. So is he going to go back to leaking?
No, they're not. The
Or
US
has he
aren't
learned
going to.
his-
The
has he
US
learned
aren't
his
going
lesson?
to. The US aren't going to employ him again in a classified.
Was he employed or was he hacking? I think he hacked. Snowden was employed. I think Assange was.
I don't know.
I think.
God, this has been poor. The
No,
knowledge
this is-
here has been next to nothing.
Julian's en route to US Pacific Island after accepting US plea deal. Now he looks happy in this photo. Look at this photo. He looks hopeful. Okay.
Yeah, he's
So
looking
it
out the
might-
window to free with the
Yeah.
window to freedom.
A suitable end to a grubby saga.
There you go.
So I think he's going on holiday.
Now that is not true. He's not going on.
Heads to court on Pacific Island after fine.
You think that might be the dumbest thing you've ever... We've just been talking about how if he leaves, he gets immediately extradited. Assange goes on holiday. Fuck, I never saw this coming.
No. That's not what... No, I was stupid in a different way. I thought because of this plea bargain, he was free and he was like,
has.
take me to
Take
Hawaii!
me to Hawaii. No,
And so
he's
you
doing it in
wanna
like a
go to
neutral
Hawaii.
place, isn't it, to finalise it?
Fine.
Do you reckon it's all a ploy?
But I imagine once he gets his freedom, then yeah, you go McDonald's. No, you wouldn't get McDonald's because you can get that ordered in. So is he getting Uber Eats and Deliveroo's when he's there all the time?
There'll be a kitchen. There'll be staff at the Ecuadorian. I'm sure it's probably a bit of a balance. They'll probably we don't want to cook for you tonight.
And he probably doesn't want their food all the time.
Yeah, I think it's quite a community vibe.
Ecuadorian Embassy.
An Ecuadorian embassy.
But it's in
Well,
quite
no,
a
they'll have
rigid
kitchen.
townhouse.
Why does that? So just because it's a rigid townhouse doesn't mean they can't cook for each other.
Do you think
just the structures reveal the truth of the occupants?
I don't know. I
within
just
it?
think you're imagining. Oh, Ecuador. That sounds exotic.
I'm really not. I'm just thinking about.
I'm just saying that you can imagine the 2 up 2 down, not 2 up 2 down, but it's quite like it's not all
I wasn't thinking about Ecuadorians specifically. I wouldn't presume to think that Ecuadorians have good hospitality, but I'm sure they do. But I've seen things about people in embassies, and it's quite basic living. I think it depends on the embassy, but you have like kitchens and stuff. It's a bit like Argo. Is there some embassies involved in that? Yeah. They're quite built for purpose places. They don't really expect anyone to stay there for 8 years.
Got a lovely little garden.
Yeah, does it?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm sure it would.
Yeah.
Have you seen? I was at the place of the embassies in near the Royal Albert Hall.
Yes.
They're all very nice houses. It's all very posh around there.
Yeah. It's like a fancy dentist, don't you think? You know how dentists
I wouldn't
always...
even begin... a dentist, yeah.
You know how dentists always take kind of shitty houses in Essex?
Yeah.
Or like just like normal semi-detached houses.
Yeah.
That's what embassies have done, but just on a bigger scale, right?
Well, then there's just like nicer houses, though. I suppose you're not wrong.
The logic isn't wrong. That's got to count for something. The logic is there.
I suppose
now,
it tracks.
Assange in the Ecuadorian Embassy.
Yeah.
As a setup, does that lead to a sitcom? Is there a sitcom in there?
Of course
Am I pulling at strings there? Because it's like, it's a situational comedy. That feels like you got a real sense of place. It's contained.
I don't think
he's not allowed to leave.
I don't think it is.
You could do. You know how like My Parents Are Aliens? It was all on a set, right?
Yeah.
You could just do it. It'd be one. The Ecuadorian Embassy would be one set.
You got the garden to work with.
I think I'd also. I don't.
You can
like,
even explore the lives of characters who come in and out of the embassy, so you can go out of the embassy.
But I don't normally like these sort of sitcoms. I don't like canned laughs. And I don't like sitcoms on like a set as much.
Yeah.
I prefer like single camera as opposed to multicam. But I think for this, like a really old school, go back to the old school sitcom, sort of like Seinfeld. It's clearly set.
Oh, like that.
Yeah, so you got like introductory shots. Probably not. That would be stealing too much, but it would be like you'd constantly be showing.
You could have Ecuadorian music.
Yeah, I wouldn't posit to.
We're not gonna. I'm just saying we would.
Or like them doing the Seinfeld. So whatever is the national instrument in Ecuador, trying to do the Seinfelds.
Yeah, one of the episodes is one of someone else who is staying in the embassy has taken one of Assange's croissants.
Yeah, so it'd be mind disputes.
Yeah, it's literally an episode of Friends.
Yeah. There's a sort of maybe a Fawlty Towers sort of aspect.
Yep. What's the Assange character like?
I imagine...
Surprisingly calamitous. He's kind of like a boob.
Do you think? Yeah, he's got a... Yeah, I think he's clumsy.
Yeah, that's why he leaked. He didn't mean to. He slipped.
I think every episode you have to imply that he's about to get extradited, right?
Every episode.
Pretty much. That's what,
Brutal.
You know how like they build the stakes in like The Bear or something where it's like...
Well, no, but there'll be a season arc.
It's
a season arc. You can't have him nearly extradited every time.
Well, then you have the resolution, Well,
it doesn't. That's
like,
brutal.
Well, like Disney Channel shows, That's So Raven or something like that. But you'd have like a big conflict and it always gets resolved.
Yeah, but that's the series conflict. You need an episode. You need an episode arc, which will be like... Croissant? Right. Julian Assange finds the croissant.
What's that episode called?
It's called Croissant.
Julian Croissant?
It's called Julian Croissant, yeah. I think that's why I keep thinking of croissant, because it does sound like croissant. But the characters of Julian Assange, there's like the maids, the cooks, the chefs. Yeah. The great thing that we can have is different characters coming in and out of the embassy based on different needs.
A lot of Ecuadorian actors. A lot.
You're saying too many.
I'm not saying too many.
Why are you giving me that look?
Well, I just think diversity is great. But
why are you using air quotes?
No, diversity is great, but it's like, I guess it's like, that's not even a battleground of diversity.
It's not even begun.
I guess it'd be groundbreaking in that front.
Do you think it'd be fine if we just use African actors? Or is that going to be...
No, I think it'd have to be Ecuadorian.
And
I think an 85% Ecuadorian cast would be the first of its kind in the UK... and would be quite groundbreaking, but it would be sort of like the diversity that no one was asking for.
Which is the best kind.
We're so
many steps ahead.
There's not a big community in the UK.
I've not heard the phrase Ecuadorian diversity once.
I might be pissed off if I was a black British person, where it's very hard to get any kind of black-led shows off the ground in the UK.
With these Ecuadorians.
Well, I'd just be like...
It might start a new race war. But
what? There's all these Ecuadorian actors who aren't even asking to get more work.
And they're on. It makes us look excellent.
I think so.
It does. Because that's like huge diverse steps
Well, it's
forward.
one white guy and everyone else is pretty much Ecuadorian. Oh no, you'd have the Met. You'd have the Met police. You'd have the villain.
But that's what I'm saying. But you can have people coming in. We can. I think to make it work as well, we'll need like another long-time lodger in the embassy.
Yeah.
Who's like there for a different reason.
I think one of the episodes he can fall out the window and be holding on like this.
That's like a season finale.
Do you think? So
that's the season finale. All of the season finales have to have in some way to do with him nearly getting extradited. And then we'll finish with the plea deal, which turns out was a ruse.
NBC are interested. BBC are interested. Netflix are interested. The only question left, the question they keep asking us, what's the name?
Or who plays Assange? Weirdly, you could play Assange. You look a bit like him.
I do look a bit like Assange.
Yeah, but I think we'd have to go with like Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah. We could go with... I mean, I would want a bit... If it was low budget, maybe Bradley Walsh.
No, Bradley can't play him.
He's got comedy chops. It's that sort of... It's quite a broad sitcom.
Bradley, long-term lodger. The other guy who's in the embassy for a long period of time for a reason we can work out. But I think
needs to have one character trait that's a comedic thing.
He falls over all the time.
Well, Assange is already falling over.
No, Assange is spilling things. There's a difference, Horatio. It's called slapstick. Look it up. I was thinking Assange. Okay, it could be this. Now this is just a jumping up point. But is Julian Assange where the ass is capitalised?
What? Because he's such an ass? No, because he's clumsy.
He's clumsy.
Yeah, he's an ass. Yeah. And what's the poster?
What?
Yeah, so
no, it's
because
him.
it needs, you need to see the a whole Ecuadorian embassy like this.
Yeah, and it'll be him. It'll be him spilling something. Okay, it's him spilling tea. He's spilling the tea. He spilled the tea on America.
Yeah, young
and
viewers.
and then the tea kind of molds in to like
letters.
documents or like redacted papers.
What, in like a brown? I don't like brown as a text. I think that's quite like.
No. Like it's a yeah. There's no text. It's like he's spilling tea, and then the tea turns into redacted papers and information.
Fine.
It's
That's good. That's good.
He spilled the tea.
It's the Malcolm in the Middle poster. Assange in the middle.
Yeah.
But then he's the and then it's him with his crazy.
Yeah. The old maid.
Yeah.
The kind of kids who are there, like just back to back.
Yeah, the kind of
twins.
big smiles.
They're twins. They're inexplicably in the embassy all the time.
Yeah.
The chef hates Assange because he's always ruining his meals.
Yeah.
Because he's a prankster as well as Assange. He likes to, put a bit too much paprika in the Ecuadorian stew.
Yeah.
That's a good app.
Who's playing him though?
I think it's Stellan Skarsgård.
I don't know if Stellan Skarsgård would want to do a broad comedy.
If we're asking about who wants to do this, there's going to be a very short list.
I don't like Assange as a name.
Well,
I think
it's a deal breaker.
I think it should be like a pun on being like locked up or like stuck in. What's the classic thing about being stuck in?
Yeah, but Assange is fucking nightmare to do anything with. Assange.
Yeah, it's really hard.
There's like
Julian, it's like everyone hates Julian. Or
right,
like,
yeah, okay. So it doesn't have to be Assange. Yeah.
Everyone wants to extradite Assange. And he's like, everyone wants to extradite Assange.
Yeah, I guess that's a good kind of narrative running throughout, is that everyone wants to extradite Assange because he's such a nightmare. But then only like the Ecuadorian president is saying, no, we can't because we need a good relationship with whoever. So there's politics involved in it as well. And the chef's just like, everybody who wants to extradite Assange is good.
But the chef is a heart of gold, though. So that's for most of the episodes. But near the end, there's like
100%.
There's like
it's like the Fresh
coming
Prince
together is
with
like you piss me off.
Yeah,
but I do
and
love
then they
you.
have an incredibly emotional moment. It's like in the Fresh Prince with Will Smith and the dad.
Yeah.
It's that bit. God, you really grind my gears. But at the end of the day, you're my son and I love you.
Fresh Prince.
You're
the Fresh Prince of the Ecuadorian Embassy.
I feel like it sends a mixed message. I don't think he's not really Will Smith, is he?
Yeah.
I like everybody wants to extradite because it's a nightmare to say. Julian Assange is difficult enough to say, but we've added everybody wants to extradite Julian Assange. and him spilling the tea.
Yeah.
It's like the chef's just putting down a tray of teas and he's gone like that, and then it goes into the redacted documents and then everyone's behind going like,
And I do mean this. It's not our worst idea.
Of course it's not.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, the buzz,
I don't know.
Do you want to write it?
I don't know. I think the main problem is
the main problem is that we're doing it in like a 90s sitcom style.
Yeah, in the 90s that would work.
I don't think they're ready for that in the 90s.
Yeah, maybe. Well, if this ish, I guess not. It's clashing two different styles. It does only really works for me as like a studio sitcom, to be honest.
We'll think about it.
It needs to be broad.
We'll think about it. I know what you mean, but then how long will that last? When will the novelty wear off? Because the jokes are going to be...
How many seasons of Friends were there?
The jokes are going to be... Yeah, I know. I don't know. But the jokes are going to be so ironic because they're going to be bad jokes on purpose, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
It depends how well we can pepper in actually good jokes that aren't taking the piss out of 90s sitcoms as well.
But anyway, that's all we've got time for this week.
We'll be discussing that.
We'll be discussing that more. If you guys have any plot points or thoughts for other episodes of
Assange should do about nothing.
That's what I was more looking for, something like that. That's good. That's nearly there. The importance of being Assange.
Yeah. Assange should do about nothing is the closest to
Star Wars, The Assange Strikes Back as the subtitle.
That's pretty good. No problems we'll encounter with that.
Lord of the Rings, The Return of the Assange.
Avatar 2, Avatar 3, Julian Assange. That's good. Avatar 3, Julian Assange. Oh, yeah, there you go.